again, 21convention.com, Melbourne, Australia. I always want to say Florida, which is like the worst city in Florida. Anyway, we are here with James from Social Coach. Back in the past, one of the highest rated instructors for Charisma Arts, a company that I think we're all familiar with. I know about it's the one that Juggler, the famous Wayne East, started, as well as working directly with Social Coach right now with 8 female trainers, understanding women and learning how to be social, truly present yourself as a man. Here we are, James. Pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Great, great.
I've been doing this about 6.5 years, and one of the biggest epiphanies I had was when I was coaching a guy, and he was just finishing off his chartered accounting exams, and he had social skills. He was probably better than average looking. He was well dressed, and he was a really interesting guy. But my problem coaching him was whenever I asked him to do something he wasn't quite sure how to do, he sort of froze up and just, he does step 1, 2, 3 great, then he doesn't know step 4, he's like, and he freaks out. And then it hit me so hard. The sort of Western education system we have, we go to school and we try to pass tests. And what do you want to get in a test? You want to get an A, you want to get 100%. You don't want to make any mistakes. You've been taught at school not to make any mistakes. Now, if you take that philosophy to getting better with women, how do you think you're going to do? You're going to die. And probably the number one, so at the beginning of my journey, the number one thing I crossed was I realized, oh my God, I'm supposed to fail. When I fail, I actually learn something. And if I don't learn anything, I'm never going to improve. And the thing you'll find when you start to get better with women and you start to date, more and more beautiful women, more and more interesting women, more and more intelligent women, and dare I say, you start to see 2 or 3 girls at the same time and possibly even have threesomes, you fail more. You fail much more. And because the women see you as more confident, they test you harder. And, you start to fail a lot more. Does that make sense to you guys? Some of you who are a bit further along in this journey may have heard things like, you're on a date with a girl, you really like her, and she just comes and declares, listen, there's no way known we're having sex tonight. Or maybe it's the 3rd date and you've taken her out and you really started to like her, and it's like, listen, James, you're a really nice guy, I really enjoy spending time with you, but I just don't know if I sort of am sexually attracted to you. You're too old, you're too young, you're too short, you're too bald, you're too intelligent, you're too something. And then some guys, me for most of my life, would go, oh, but we've got such a good thing. We've been out, we had so much fun, and we have such great conversations. And guess what happens? That's my last date with them. As I grew a bit better at this, and unfortunately for me, that wasn't until my 30s, I realized that what you do then is you go, oh, okay, it's a bit disappointing. So, tell me about that new Pilates class you started. How's that going? And you'll see the girl's eyes go, and guess what happens? Half an hour later, you're inside her. Do you know why? Because you passed her woman's test. And that's probably the real secret to having, abundance, beautiful women, and incredible relationships with women in your life, passing their tests. And that is very, very difficult, and you're going to fail repeatedly. So on most of my points tonight, I'm going to try to give you actionable things you can go out and do to improve your life, because you can sit here and listen and get all inspired and go out tonight and approach 20 girls, but you've really got to follow through with it. It's the guys who sort of put a program in place and follow through on this for a couple of months, if not a year, who turn into the superstars. So what I want you to do is to hop on Google and Google Michael Jordan Nike failure commercial. Can you all remember that? And what you'll see is possibly the greatest athlete of my lifetime talking about how I've failed over and over again in my life. 50 times I've been entrusted taking the game-winning shot. I've missed all this, I've lost all that, yet he's the greatest. And that's the mentality you need to have with women. The idea that you can, eliminate your approach anxiety forever and every woman's going to want you. I don't know who's selling that, but it's not the way I found it. And I want you to watch that movie, that short commercial. It's about 30 seconds. I want you to watch it 10 times. If you're serious, watch it 20 times before you go out the next time. Who's going to do that? Put your hand up. Watch a TV commercial. It's like 6 minutes of your life. And when you go out, resolve to yourself that you're going to approach 3 women. Just do whatever you do now. Just however you approach women now, do it. If you walk up and say hello, great. If you use some line, great, do that. But just approach 3 really beautiful women and see what happens. And one thing you'll discover is failure doesn't really hurt that much. Another thing you'll discover is really beautiful women tend to be pretty sweet if guys approach them with a genuine desire to get to know them, because they're often talking to guys who are trying to hit on them. And if they're rude to every one of them, it's not going to be a very good life, because eventually some guys are going to get pretty mean. So an ex-girlfriend of mine is a 6'1" model. You can walk up to her, talk to her, go, hey, how you doing, Stuart? So nice to meet you. She'll let you talk for 10 seconds. She'll go, oh, I'm with my friends now, but it's so lovely to meet you. I might talk to you later, and turn her back on you. And she's made you feel really good, and she's rejected you in just a few minutes. So often the beautiful girls don't reject you that hard. What I've done today, I've done a brand new speech, so excuse me if I'm not particularly smooth. I was reading Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. Has anyone heard of that? Has anyone read it? My God, most people in this room are a lot younger than me. I wish I'd read that 20 years ago. Go out and read it. It's no surprise it sold 80 million copies. And one of the things he does in that is he talks about the 20 failures, the 20 ways people fail in leadership. And I ran through that list, and I pretty much failed at 15 of them. I was pretty bad. 2 or 3 of them I was actually really good, and I was good in that area. But there were 2 or 3 things where I absolutely sucked. And the fact that I was failing in those 2 or 3 areas is essentially costing me more damage than anything. So that's my theory with women. I believe most men fail with women because they go out and they make the same 1 or 2 mistakes over and over and over again. Can you guys relate to that? So I've made a list of 10 of the mistakes that I've seen guys consistently make over my, 6.5 years coaching. And I want you guys to hopefully write down everything that I say and then pick which one or which 2 you think are really hurting you, then just focus most of your attention on that. Don't worry about all the other stuff, just focus on the 1 or 2 that's really holding you back. Okay, if I can introduce my head trainer, Rebecca. She's the boss of a team of 8 girl trainers who come in and you get to approach them over and over again in our boot camps, and they teach you social skills. If you could sit down for a second. I try not to swear much, but anyway. You've got to let a girl know that you want to fuck her. You've got to let a girl know that you want to fuck her. Sometimes women don't know you want to have sex with them, particularly if you're quite a desirable guy. And even if they do, 95% of women don't want to be the S word. So you've got to let a girl know that you want to have sex with her. Brazilian and French guys have no problem whatsoever with this at all. They do it in the first few minutes. English-speaking guys, particularly highly educated ones, we're sort of too scared to ever do it. So this is roughly how you do it. You're sitting on a date, the conversation's going good, she's laughing at your bad jokes, you know they're bad, but she's still laughing. And what I'd like you to do is to start holding eye contact a lot longer than you usually would. Eye contact, eye contact, eye contact. And touching, 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 touching. If the conversation's going really good, you should probably have your hands on her, pretty much all the time. Huge tip, when you're touching women, it's like patting a baby duck or something. They're so delicate. You barely touch them at all. It has to be so soft. So you're touching them in such a way that they can sort of feel the connection of your energy to theirs, but they barely even know you're touching them. Actually, it sounds geeky, but everyone practice on the guy beside them. Just touch the person beside you's hand and touch it as lightly as you possibly can. Nothing like a bit of audience interaction.